ladies and gentlemen, to the Crow's Nest podcast, episode 11th. It's already been close to 3 months. Well, actually, it's been over 3 months that we're doing this podcast, but we took 2 breaks during those 3 months, so it's pretty close. So this is Evok,
TDZ.
and today we'll be your humble servant by answering your question again.
Yep. Figure we'll jump right into them because we actually got quite a bit this time. You guys were very ready with the week off, I guess.
Yeah, it helped to have a week off so they have like more time to ask questions or more subject about like talking.
Yeah, plus the season coming into full bloom now.
Yep. So
All right.
First up is a Blues fan 55, and he's asking, what's our thoughts on the San Francisco Pride, and why Clint Eastwood is the best ever?
Well, Clint Eastwood is a very good actor. I don't know if he's the best actor ever, but...
Well, I mean, it did not say what Clint Eastwood was the best at.
Yeah.
So he could be the best at being bad. So
He's going to be the best at having that lowest plus-minus this season.
That's going to be interesting. Maybe we'll finish with something like minus 47. I think that was Woozy finished with in the Get on My Hockey League. It hurt to see that number.
Yeah, I finished with something like that last season. It was bad.
But you were a rookie. Like, to an extent, it's like, okay, you're a rookie. It's fine. But
No, last season was second season.
oh, that's true. You were not a rookie anymore.
I mean, I did better last season than the first season. The first season was really bad as a rookie, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like negative 50 or some shit like that.
Oh my god.
And then last season was like negative 28 or something, I don't know.
That hurt. I didn't have any negative last season. Not a one before. Maybe because I was a goalie.
Yeah, maybe.
I had
Alright,
a lot of goals against though. Okay, back to the subject.
Yeah, thoughts on the Pride. This has come under a lot of scrutiny on the site lately. Very controversial subject, and it seems to be absolutely polarizing on whether love or hate of it, and there's no really in between. Personally, I like the jerseys. They're a blatant ripoff of Florida's, but they work. I don't see why everybody immediately associates it with like gay pride. I mean,
That's
I get
pride.
why they do, but I don't see why they would immediately associate it with that when you think of the Pride of Lions, and it's very easy to be able to just ignore that and just be like, okay, that's a cool team, and it has a pretty decent logo and an interesting color scheme.
Yeah, that's actually I like the concept and everything, but I'm not as fan as the branding. Like you mentioned, the color scheme. One of the things I already mentioned in the past is that I think the colors, like, there is not enough, like, they're too clashy, and there's not enough gradient in them. Like, it's just like that blue, it's that same blue everywhere. And after that, it's that red, well, it's that red everywhere. So, like, it's always the same color everywhere. And
I think a lot of jerseys do that nowadays, though.
yeah, but often it's gonna be color that will fit together like a bit more. Like often like a color with black or white or gray, and that's gonna tone it down. But now it's just red, blue, and yellow, 3 bright colors. So because of that, I'm like, it's a bit flashy, but I like the team. Like it's nice.
Yeah, I think they have a decent future. It's just, the whole Portland fiasco sent the team into a tailspin, and they got to rebuild. And eventually they'll get there, but it's going to take them a little bit.
Yeah, they just have to not get in any other fiasco, and they should be fine. They should be rolling.
Yeah, which Grapehead, as far as I know, did fine in Montreal about not getting in trouble, so he should be able to be fine.
True about that.
All right, who had the best preseason on your respective teams?
Oh, that's actually well, that answer is easy for me. It was me. For the Raiders, if I go look at them, yeah, Cody Fletcher finished first in the team in scoring with let me see, 49 points. That was 13 over the second one, which is defenseman Lucas Miller, who had 36. So yeah, I can Cody Fletcher kind of had a really good preseason.
Ours was a very loaded question, Blues, because you had the best points. I'm not a fan of the loaded questions, and I usually try and avoid them. But since this one is very hit or miss, and I can't, then it had to be him points wise. That being said, Biddy's Aces player was only 1 point behind him, and played 140 more minutes on the penalty kill.
Yeah.
So, just between those two, and they had 8 to 9 points more than me, and I was next. So.
Oh yeah, that's a big margin. Well, it's like me with my 13 points more than the next after me. So. Yeah.
Yeah, I had decent points. I was a shot blocking monster.
I wasn't. I had 13.
Yeah, those two had 6 and 8, and I had 77.
Well, you're also a defenseman, though. But...
Yeah, they get a lot. But I think, if I remember correctly, shots blocked. Yeah, I was tied for second in the preseason of all players, and I was only 1 behind the lead.
Who's the leader?
The preseason was Sigurd Hansen for Kelowna, and then Andrew Schreck for Kelowna was tied with me.
How many shot blocked you had?
77.
Oh yeah, that's the highest one in the Raider had 62. So I was curious.
Yeah, they didn't even make top 10.
We're basically full offense team, so it's a sword double. How do you say that in English? Double-edged sword.
Yeah. Double-edged sword, yeah.
So it can go really well or really bad really fast.
All right. This one's for me. TDZ, we drafted a strong rookie class in St. Louis. Which player do you think will turn out to be the best? It's hard to say because I don't know if you're talking about best stats-wise or best, activity-wise.
Well, for that question, I would go with who will be the best activity-wise. Because, sure, for juniors, it's not long before being maxed out and being efficient to an extent, but that doesn't turn you into the best though.
Yeah.
Our best stat defenseman is nowhere to be found on the forum. So to an extent, would I consider him the best? Not at all.
Then I would have to go with Bobby Watson.
No, why are you doing that to me? Okay, for those who don't know, Bobby Watson is one of my real life friends. So I hate you, TDC, for saying that. Mainly
because I am directly responsible for him coming to St. Louis.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be sad now. Please give me a minute of silence.
That was who I wanted to draft.
I hate you so much. But at the same time, it's normal to want to draft the best player, and I actually didn't even know he had that much CPE when entering the draft.
Tops, he was tops of all the prospects, but all the recreates went first. No, yeah. All of them. Period. He was ahead of all the recreates
really?
too.
Oh my god. Well, the recreates, most of them wait for the draft, the trade the off-season post.
Yeah.
So it's normal he's ahead of them, but I think we had a few other players that created before him, so I'm actually surprised.
Yeah, there was quite a few. Honestly, it was between him and Hunter Jones, Thunder 39.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
is his number. That's the two I wanted, and Kelowna went Thunder really early, at 6, and I was like, okay.
Okay, well,
I'm gonna push really hard for Bobby, so I was like in Joe's ear, just like, we gotta take him, we gotta take him.
He's not passing our next pick.
Exactly.
Come on,
Like,
take
we
him.
have to get him now at 10, or we're not getting him at 12.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm sad.
All right. And the next question is for you: is which Halifax rookie has impressed you the most?
I would say for like I mostly see I don't know how to pronounce his name on the forum, but the player of Kevin Hamilton, um, like the user seems really interested in, well, to an extent in the website, and he was really active. Like made sure to buy the equipment, buy the like everything he could at the beginning of the season. So that's something that actually like impressed me more about the users. Like when when they make when they try to make the big wow, I can't talk. When they try to make the best player as soon as possible, that's something that like catch my eyes.
Yeah, it also is kind of a, I don't want to say red flag per se, but like on Tana's situation where they come
True.
out so strong and then they get burnt out or something and they leave.
Yeah, Kevin Hamilton's player user is actually someone on the NSFL forums. So like,
Yes.
he knows simulation on tennis. It was his first simulation. So like, to an extent, I think on the long run, like Hamilton will do better than on tennis. It hurt me to say that because I liked on tennis. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna burn out or disappear as fast.
Yeah, I don't think he will. A lot of the NSFL people, like you said, they're used to it.
Yeah, they know the grind, so.
Yeah.
Like, he did tell us, like, oh, I might be a bit less active here, but, like, the fact that he's trying to make his best already is, like, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, in St. Louis, we have multiple players like that, too. We have Dermott, who's white center, I think, on the forums, and he's white cornerback over in NSFL. He's like one of the highest TPE earners over there. And that's why I pushed for him over here as well. Another one that I was in Joe's ear, just like, this is going to be a good pick if we can get him.
Yeah.
So him, ER, who's been great for us, Tor, he's over there as well. I'm not sure if any of the other ones are. But those two, I think, will be very active for us. And they might not be quite as active as they are in NSFL, but that's fine because they're still really active over here.
Yeah. So, like, people that say, oh, I'm not going to be active that much might end up being, like, super active. If you want an example, I told my GM on NSFL, I'm not going to be active. Like, I'm not going to do any media. So if you want me to train, pay me, and I'm going to do all the PT. And that's actually more than some of the other players do. So
yeah,
like,
I mean, that's how I was. The first season that I joined halfway through the season in NSFL.
Okay.
And signed with the Otters, or got waiver ordered to the Otters. And I did media, I did the PTs, I did almost everything, and then I got bored of it. Yeah. So when the draft came along for season 2, like, Insight was the Colorado GM, and he messaged me wanting me, and I was like, I'm telling you now, I'm not going to be that active. I was like, I will do some of the PTs, I will do the training if I have the money to, but I'm probably not going to do media. And he drafted me anyways and gave me a fat contract so I could afford media for the first year.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, if, like, I know what I can give without too much trouble. PTs are not an issue for me, especially as they give teams for it. So it's like really easy to like just shit something, to be honest. Like, but like media, I was like, I don't know shit about football. Like, to be honest, I know nothing about football. So I was like, I'm not interested in doing any media for it. So like, if you pay me, I'm gonna be like one of the best prospects you're gonna ever have. If you don't pay me, too bad. Like, you're gonna have what you have.
Yeah, I don't even do media over here anymore.
Yeah,
That's why I
media.
have jobs
Yeah, like media was
and do
fine.
this.
Yeah, media was fine until I like that became too boring to do my game resume, and yeah, I stopped. And I might restart to do another format with the Wolfpack, but it's gonna depend. I know I'm not gonna do like 500 word per game anymore because that's too time consuming. Like it's like
Yeah,
50 hours to do that. It's like no way, no shit.
I pretty much have it good to go right now, where with my mentor pay, and
Oh
I
yeah.
don't care about backup pay anymore or updating pay.
Let's not talk about updating,
I,
please.
I might I might pick up an update every now and then, but I doubt it. And it definitely won't be off season.
Fucking off season.
So between mentor pay and contracts and doing this, I'm good on buying equipment and training every season. I don't care anymore.
Are you actually good to buy everything?
I mean, I've already bought
Or
equipment and everything, and I
close?
still have like 20 million.
Okay, so you're good or really close, so.
Yeah, even if I was coming out slightly negative every season, it would take quite a few seasons for me to chip down that total.
True, true. So.
Because I'm going to come out about even.
Well, that's good then. And not like me just sitting on money and be like, yeah, I'm not sure why I did that.
Yeah. I mean, if I have to, I could write media. And if we do, like, the Reddit draft should be the next draft for the juniors.
Yeah.
If they do double again for all media for, like, the week, I might take advantage of that.
Yeah, that's true. Like, media week double is worth it.
Yeah. I did that with my first, when I joined 4 months ago, whatever it was now.
Yeah. What I actually have to check right now is I'm just thinking about it. Like, I did the whole series about Halifax game that I never finished, and I was really close to finish it, but it makes me think, do I still have some text written that I haven't published? Because I was always waiting for, like, having 5 so I could post them all at once. So maybe I still have some games that I haven't published, and I might just publish them. Just be like, yeah, I know it's 2 season old,
Free money.
but free money that I had written already. So that's gonna be interesting. So if you see um how was it, the letter of marks again? Yeah, that might be
Marquee.
it. Yeah, like French pronunciation. So letter of marquee. So that might be why you see them pop.
All right. On to Beaver now, who wanted us to do some various predictions. I'm assuming juniors.
I'm gonna go with juniors because I don't know anything
Yeah.
about SHL.
Yeah, basically. Best team. If we're going off of...
No, let's not go about like the off season.
If we go off the preseason standings,
Preseason. Yeah, no, don't do that.
for some reason y'all are 5th.
Yeah, I know. It breaks my heart.
Yeah, I mean, I've done quite a few sims because I was testing builds out for myself. I looked at the standings just because, but it wasn't me testing stuff to see what would work for St. Louis. Not yet, anyways. That was more of me just seeing if I could redistribute TPE elsewhere and help my players' stats as well as not hurt the team. And that's the only reason I checked the standings. And it did jack shit. No matter what I changed it to, it was basically like even across the board. I was pulling the same stats. St. Louis was doing the same. I was just like, it's not even worth spending my money.
Yeah, that's true at this point.
So, I mean, every one of my sims, though, St. Louis was 1 or 2. Every single one. And we finished first in the preseason. So, got high hopes that we can be one of the top teams. But at the same time, this is based off of rookie builds right now. And as these rookies continue to grow or go inactive, a lot of shit can change.
True. So, but I would not be surprised. You had a strong preseason, but at the same time, it's preseason, so like it always.
Yeah, and the first day of
Never
preseason,
really
there's a
want-
lot of mistakes in builds.
Yeah, true. So like you don't really want to like say, oh yeah, that's what it's gonna be. But I think, unfortunately for me, that Halifax might not be as strong as I wanted him to be, which is still really annoying because we basically lose no player except one. So I don't understand why it would make such a difference. But life happened, I guess.
Yeah.
But the fact we finished fifth and with a lot of penalty minutes is kind of scaring me.
Yeah, I think, had quite a few as well.
We had like, I think only one player had less than 20 minutes of penalty during the season, which is, in my opinion, not good. Like, it's normal to have like a few player like having high TP minutes and everything, but all the player having 20 minutes more, it's like, what the hell happened?
You actually had 8.64 penalty minutes a game as a team, which was fourth.
So it's not too
So you were
bad,
like right in
but-
the middle.
Yeah, but it's still more, at least for my player. I'm like, I finished with 8 penalty minutes last season. Why would I go suddenly to 20 more? Like,
Yeah.
it makes no
I mean,
sense.
St. Louis was averaging almost 10 penalty minutes a game, and like so far in the regular season, and I give ER shit about this a little bit earlier. Not a lot, just laughed about it. He already has like 16 penalty minutes in 2 games
Oh
or
my
something
God.
like that. No, 12. 12 penalty minutes in 2 games. He's taken 6 penalties, 3 each game.
Dang, what the hell?
Yeah. I'm not happy that I have a penalty already. I mean, it's
Yeah,
been
I
one
have
game,
to.
and I've already taken one, and I'm like,
Didn't you guys play 2 though?
Yeah, well, yeah, 2 games, but still.
Yeah,
I
you
had like
took.
all of 6 penalty minutes last season, or 8 or something like that.
I don't know if your games was the first of the season against us, but
Yep.
like I think the first to take a penalty in my team. I was like, no, god damn it, that's what I want to avoid. So that's actually quite funny when you think about it. Like, yeah, I'm trying to avoid penalties, and I get the first penalty of the season
There was
for
penalties.
hooking. Yeah,
I
and
know there's a
you took one for hooking as well in the second period.
there it is, penalty minutes. And I mean, there's only so many teams that have played 2 games, but like, there's 2 St. Louis players in the top 3.
Oh my god, Tortruck, like three penalty.
Yeah,
Roughing,
and
hooking, tripping. And Bobby
Yeah, I think
Watson with delay of game. What the hell?
yeah, you're sitting there 10th in penalty minutes, even though you have 2 and I have 2 and I'm not on the list.
Well, at the same time, we just begin the season.
I know, it's weird. The only thing I'm happy about is I have most minutes played so far.
It's only like 2 games.
Yeah, but all the people that have played 2, like all the D-men, I have most. And
Well,
in preseason,
okay, the team that I've played 2, you guys, and Montreal. That's all.
I know. Well, okay, but let's just say preseason as well.
Okay.
And you look at it, and I had almost 100 minutes more than the next person.
Well, that's pretty good then. All the minutes.
I'm averaging like 26 minutes a game.
That's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I think
and
I
I'm still
had
not gonna score.
22. Yeah, 22 minutes a game. 23 actually. Okay, so back to the subject. If we want to finish all the questions, yeah, I think St. Louis have a good chance to like be in one of the 2 first team.
Yeah, I think it's us or y'all or Kelowna surprised me in there.
Yeah,
Uh,
Sammy is actually doing something good.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I would have expected Kelowna to be there, but they are. Truth be told, I think there's about 5 teams that could
Oh
vie
yeah,
for first.
everything like could go anyway. Like everyone except Montreal could go anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think Colorado or Prince George will do as well either. They're losing a lot of key players. Prince George is going to have to get carried by Artie's player, and I just don't think he can do it by himself.
Yeah, last season he had like
Forsberg and
Forsberg.
Koenig.
True Koenig played a huge part.
Yeah, and they all had a ton of fucking points, and it's just him now.
Yeah.
So I think any of those 5 could really do it. MVP.
Da, da, da.
I mean, it might be Weisskopf or Noor, one of those 2, I think.
Yeah.
They're going to get heavy minutes for their teams, and
Well, if
They're
Kelowna
both-
is doing well, Noor is actually doing well. Because even if y'all are strong, like St. Louis, no one is really stepping like stepping up and everything. So
Well, our top line's doing really well, but we just don't have the depth. And our top line isn't. I guess we have more depth than most of these other teams, like PGF.
yeah,
But
yeah, that's true.
our depth isn't going to be like really high up there. We're going to have our top line's going to be slightly below, and then our second line's going to be slightly below them, and we just kind of have very good overall team. And our top line should do really well. I mean, Blues was our top player, and he was 8th, and then Ace was right behind him at 12th overall in the league in preseason.
Yeah, but it's like I said, it's not really standing out for a team that finished first as a player compared to like Noor that finished like tied with the Artis players at 63 points. But the other thing compared to like PGF is that I was pretty sure Kelowna would actually do like worse than that. So I was actually surprised to see them high and Noor playing that well, especially when you think last season he didn't do that well. So
Yeah. All right. Teams to miss playoffs.
Montreal.
Montreal for sure. I think Colorado's the other one.
That could be something, yes.
They lost. They're losing Mook. I don't know which way it is. Yeah, they're losing Kreller. He's up with Calgary and staying up this season.
Yeah, he's called up, so.
So like just overall, like they don't have a ton of high end players. I think CK is one of their better players, and he's inactive, but he did cap out before he went, so that helps them. Von Hammersmark is up there. Their problem is they just have no D. They're relying on like a rookie D-man playing top pairing.
Yeah, that's true. That's gonna actually hurt. So.
I know he was a rookie last season, but then they have.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know. It's like their top scoring D had 25 points, and it was a -1 in preseason. And their top scoring player overall had 36 points, and that's way down on the list.
Oh my god, where is it? Finn Larson? With
Yeah.
a plus-minus of 0? Oh, that's actually hurt.
That's 23rd overall in the league.
Yeah. That actually hurt.
Yeah, you got people like that have 16 minutes a game getting more points than them. So I just don't think Colorado will do very well.
No, I think that's gonna hurt them.
Yeah, so that would be my two teams.
Same seat.
Top scorer, I'm guessing that's goals.
Artie's players?
Yeah, it's gonna be Artie.
Yeah, he was really. I think it was close last season, and he led in preseason in goals.
By 1. Yeah, with
by
Bannerstrom.
1, which is also in his team. So.
On his line.
So yeah. So those two are gonna probably be the one to check.
Yeah, or no are you?
I don't score that much. That annoying me so much because I have a lot of points and I'm not too far with 25, but I want more goal than assists.
Yeah.
I want to score more. I have 24 assists. It's so frustrating. Probably all the assists are Clint is saying rebounds that people catch and just score with.
Yeah, it's shots, rebounding, or you're shooting and missing the net and it's bouncing around the boards and coming back and stuff like that.
All right.
Top rookie. Based off of preseason, Patty Kane Riley for PGF had a pretty good season.
Yeah, and Cynthia's player.
Yeah, I think he would. I think both of them have a good shot just because they're playing on teams that don't have a ton of depth, so they're going to get more time.
Yeah.
I was honestly very surprised with Bobby Watson for us because he ended up with 28 points and he was getting 13 minutes. I mean, he was just ripping them.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Like looking at the lines, he's our third line left winger, and I wouldn't say it's out of the realm of possibilities if he keeps up his TPE production that he could take over Finn's spot
for sure.
and second spot. So he might sneak into the conversation there, but I just think PGF doesn't have the depth. So, and Kelowna not as well either.
You also have a really low scoring team, like I mentioned. Like you're pretty decent, but you're not a top production like PGF is. Like PGF have a lot of gold and everything coming from their top line, so.
And I think a problem with that is they have like Viscox getting 45% of the time because their top line is their bottom line basically.
Yeah.
And they're having a double shift where you go to our team and you look at our lines and we have 4 separate lines because we have that much depth with our rookie class.
That's actually impressive.
And we're playing 4 separate lines with all our time spread out, so our top line's not getting 50% of the time or something like that.
Yeah. So
I'm getting 55% though, so I'm not complaining. Because I'm getting 40 on the top line, and I'm getting double shifted on the third pairing as well.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, we don't have enough D. We only have 5D.
Yeah, like, I think we have 4 decent Ds, so, yeah, I'm not, let's not talk about that.
Well, we have 3 really good D, and then we have a rookie playing second pairing, but he's been holding up his own end, so, and he's gaining a lot of TPE, so he'll be fine there.
Like, to be honest, I don't know what Halifax is gonna do next season.
It's gonna be interesting for us too. We're losing our entire top line.
We're probably losing like almost everyone. So yeah.
We'll lose our entire top line and our top defensive pair.
Yeah. So we're gonna see in the end who's gonna like go, but that's I don't look forward to see that.
Yeah. I mean, I could really beg if I wanted to stay, but I don't know if I even want to.
Yeah, that's
and
the
even
thing.
Then,
like I could ask to stay, but at this point, will I also want? Like it always depends. Will my team need me at that moment? Do I actually want to spend a 4th year in junior? Like all that little kind of thing.
Part of me wants to just because I don't have to come up at the same time with all of you. And I might have a better shot at Rookie of the Year. And I could come up with like 900 TPE or some shit like that, like Forsberg did, or 1,000 or whatever he's at.
Oh my fucking god!
Yeah, and he's already like second pairing. But I'm probably gonna be top 4 minutes in Calgary next season, so I don't know why I would stay. I have enough TPE. And especially by the end of the season, that I can ramp my defense. Like, I can literally max my defense and still have plenty of TPE to spend elsewhere and play top 4 minutes and be fine.
Yeah, even if I go up next season, I might still play, like, third line. Because the team is stacked, so... yeah, fun, yay me.
Yeah, ours is stacked, but just on forwards.
Well, I'm a forward too, so like that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
That's actually a thing too. Like, we're stuck in forward too, but defense we will like be hurting a bit. Like next season is Morenov's last season in like his players playing now, but he's gonna be gone next season. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna have to find someone else for defense. So I don't know. Maybe I could switch to defense and play top minutes.
Yeah. If you want to spend the $12 million.
That's so much. Like, it's so crazy. That's so stupid.
All right. Next one. Biggest surprise.
If Montreal make the playoff. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Okay, for whoever from Montreal is listening. So.
The one asking the questions.
Oh, that's actually Beaver asking the questions.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Beaver, okay? I love you.
We still love you in Ireland.
Yeah. We're gonna love you in Ireland. Sorry, sorry you picked like you got drafted to that team.
Oh man, biggest surprise though. I think it's y'all not doing as well if you do the same as preseason, and
Yeah.
I think another one would be Vancouver doing as well as they are.
Actually, for me, if Halifax is not doing that well, it's not going to be biggest surprise. It's going to be biggest disappointment.
It's
which
both.
is the next question. So
It's a surprise disappointment.
yeah, pretty much actually. So it's like, I kind of don't want that.
If things turn out the same as preseason, I know they won't. So this is all hypothetical.
Yeah.
Kelowna and Vancouver would be the biggest surprises for me, sitting there as high as and as well as they did, with teams that still have good players on them, but I just don't think had the depth to do as well as they did. But they did.
True.
That's a testament to the GMs, I guess. I never thought I would be praising Sammy.
Me either.
All right, on to Clint's questions. How do you like my new article series, which is a view on SHL teams?
I'll be honest, okay, Clint, I'm really sorry, but I haven't read them. But it looks pretty damn interesting when you're gonna be doing New England.
Yeah, I read it, but I read it in a rush because I was in between things. So I didn't get to pay attention as much as I wanted to.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. It's an interesting take. It has a little parody in there and some facts. And I think it's pretty cool. It's going to be interesting and a good way to make money because you get to do every single team. And then if you move on to juniors, that's even more money.
True. Money is an important thing.
And that's one of the important things is having a series that you want to work on. It's the same thing you did with your letters of marquee.
Until it
if you have
really
series, yeah, well, you did so many, and I think that's what you did too much.
Yeah, that's what Killer did.
But like with him, with like 14 teams, that's a good medium. But he can get 500 words to 1,000 words per article.
Yeah.
And that's like, if it's 500 words, it's like 7 million.
Yeah, and also his article will also be a bit less repetitive than mine was, because mine was just basically resuming games. So it's like, this score, penalties, this score, penalties, end of game. So that was pretty much everything I had to say on that. So an interesting story is way better.
Yep. How is the future of Ireland looking?
Pretty
As we're both
good.
Heads.
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah.
I think the future is going to be good. This season coming up, the next tournament's going to be not as good, I would say.
We're gonna have a hard time for a few seasons, at least until you get called up and I get called up, and that we find a good replacement for Bojo.
Yeah, I think this season's going to be the last one that's going to kind of really suck. And this one's going to be worse than last season because we're losing Bojo. So we don't have that 1,000 TPE defenseman sitting there. And I'm not called up. Beaver's not called up. We don't have a replacement. We're going to have a bunch of 350 D-men sitting there.
Yeah,
that can't do anything. So this season's going to be rough, but I think after that, I should be called up. San Francisco, I'm going to take some getting used to.
Yeah.
They're in a bad place. They're probably going to call Beaver up if they're playing Clint top line or top pairing. So they're going to need D-depth. So they're going to call Beaver up sooner than later. So we might get me and Beaver uncapped for the next tournament after this upcoming one.
Season, season 38 tournament, which is next one. So I mean, we managed to get Spitfire this season. Storm joined us. That's gonna be a huge boost in offense.
Still working on Mook.
Yeah, I'm still like having conversation with Mook, you as well. So we're gonna see how it works out. We have already a few prospect lineup that everyone know. Blues fan wants to transfer, and he's probably gonna transfer next season. Well, this season actually, 737, season 37.
Yeah.
And I'm working on a few names that I don't want to name because I just want to avoid being cockblocked. So
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm working on a few players that I'm trying to interest in joining as well. So
yeah. Plus, we got some good prospects coming in that actually signed up.
Oh, that's actually true. Dermot signed up.
Yeah, Dermot.
We were talking about the Paddy Kane something.
Yeah, Paddy Kane Riley.
Grey Goose something.
Yes, Grey Goose Vodka.
I don't remember anyone username. And we have Seth Trolling as well in Ireland. So we have a few names that could really be interesting if they stay around and everything.
Yeah, we have a lot of good young prospects. It's just going to take some time to have everybody grow and really be able to perform and contribute. But it'll happen.
Yeah, like I mean, we brought in a lot of talent, in my opinion, that in 2 seasons is pretty decent to bring up, and we're gonna see where it leads us.
Yeah, I'd say 3 to 4 seasons, and we can actually compete with the best of them every tournament.
Yeah, so that's gonna be really fun to follow.
All right. The IIHF team you hate the most.
Since Scotland doesn't exist.
I'm guessing he thinks there's like this hatred between Ireland and Scotland.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'm not Irish in real life.
Me either. I don't know.
I mean, I'm part Irish, but I'm not from Ireland, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest and say I don't care about any other IHF team except when I play them.
Yeah.
The only...
Didn't care for Germany too much this past tournament because they beat us, but at the same time, it's not like I hate them.
Yeah, and, well, to be honest, Germany is also, like, probably the best team in the moment, so...
Yeah, they were the top team.
What I would say that I dislike a bit more is totally factual, and it's just because when we were running Test Sim, they beat us so much that it was really annoying, which was
fucking Norway.
Yeah, so that would be the only team I would hate, but that's not hate, like that's just because they were annoying in the Test Sim. So
yeah, it seemed like every time we lost in the Test Sim, it was to fucking Norway. Every single time.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the only one.
They would be one of them. How are the prospects coming into your team from season 37?
Yeah, I think we already touched that pretty much.
Yeah.
Except if you want to add something, so...
Nah, I think we're good. I mean, I could touch on some of the other prospects, but we'll just move along for time.
I mean, we have 15 minutes left, and we're not even, like...
Yeah, we still have...
near the bottom.
like 4 people. Your SHL and SMJHL team's biggest flaw in the roster?
I will start. New England, none. Well, I mean, I talked about needing to replace Morinov, but that's not, in my opinion, a hurry, because we still have a good, like, defenseman depth. SMGHL, depth. Period. Depth. We have none.
I would say your SHL depth isn't that great either. I mean, you got Dubois playing third pairing, and Hohenberg, neither of which are, like, really far up there in TPE, especially Dubois.
Yeah, but, like, to an extent, he got better. Like, sure, he was not that good the past season, but I would say that since I joined, he really got more active, in my opinion, and, like, tried to do more. So, like, it's not ideal, but it's still existent compared to Raiders.
Yeah, the problem, I think, though, is he's still only at, like, 400 TPE or something like that.
Yeah.
466. And he's getting 30% of the ice time.
Yeah, I know. But,
so...
Well, at the same time, as long as you have a high defense, to an extent, it's fine. So you can play.
Let's check on that.
I don't even want to check on that.
His defense isn't even on here. Oh, there it is. There's like a space between it. It's 81, so have fun with that.
81. It's still not that amazing, actually.
Yeah, not for that time. I like J-Pox, don't get me wrong. And he'll
I don't.
definitely
No,
get up there.
That's not true, G-Bucks.
But I just don't know if that ice time is great for y'all. And again, with the forwards, too, you have no depth. You're running 3 lines hardcore and 0% ice time on 4.
But that's what everyone is doing, though. Like, no real SSL team is running, like, 4 lines full time.
Well, I mean, you don't have to run 4 lines full time, but you would at least think there'd be a 4th line double shifted with some other players.
Well, if you're to double shift, like, your first line or something, well, might as well just not run it, to be honest.
Well, a lot of them will kind of switch it up. Like, what we do is... Let me go up to art. Like, where's it at? We run Randleman off our first line and Gagne off our first line. Oh, no, we're running Randleman actually second line right now, but our top 3 lines are all tied in time. But we switched it up. We have, like, one of the top lines mixed with... Or 2 of the top lines mixed with one of the second line. It kind of just gives it a different look to see if they can do something. And, like, you're looking at your 4th line is like that because you have Silverwing on the line with Makinen and Beer, and it's a mix-up, but there's just 0% ice time. And I would just kind of take a little bit from each one of those to give it like 5 or 10 maybe even. My biggest thing is you have Xander Green top line, Spitfire second line. Those are good prospects, and they're going to be great, but they don't have high TPE right now.
Well, I mean, Green's pretty, like, high. Silverwing, I do agree that Storm is not that high, but he's still decent.
He's
for
a
someone
700, yeah.
Like, he's still decent. Like, that's still the fact of, that's something we'll be needing to, like, play lower TPE players, but, like, I think we're doing pretty fine. Like, I mean, they don't want either to run low TPE players, like, so I could have played New England this season, but I didn't want to.
I just think New England goes as far as their top players carry them.
True.
And they very well could go. I mean, the top D with Landvik and Clayton is insane. They're both like 1,700 and 2,000 TPE. It's fucking ridiculous.
Nothing gets past them.
Yeah. And like Makinen, Dominique, Silverwing, they all have really high TPE. Beer too, I think, actually. He's on the second page.
Same pace, Brewery's home.
Buckner and Beer, yeah, both of them have high. So it's like y'all are really playing like 2 really good players on each line with a lower player, and it's hoping that those higher TPE players are going to carry the younger prospects, which isn't a bad strategy. We're kind of doing the same because like we put Randleman with Forsberg.
Yeah, at the same time, you don't want to put all your good player on the first line and all the mediocre player on the second line because, like, you still want a chance.
Well, that's the thing is, though, I think that y'all and, like us, have 2 full lines of top players.
Yeah. Like, it's exactly like we did with Ireland by playing Owens down the middle. We also needed a center, but, like, it really helped the team playing second line. It was actually destroying everyone, like, Ireland was playing. Like, it was actually Ireland's savior last season.
Yeah. On to us now, because I gotta say our weaknesses. Defense is definitely a weakness for Calgary. Boychuk and O'Reilly are up there. O'Reilly is inactive, though. We know from Ireland. He's like our 900 TPE defenseman that's inactive, but he's serviceable. we got PLL to switch over to D from winger because we had so many wingers, and that'll be great there. And we signed Lucas Johnson to a 1-year deal, and then it's basically like prospects at that point. So, and double shifting other D men. So our top D are pretty good. They're not like New England good, but that's definitely where we're hurting. Other than that, I think we're good. And then juniors is let's see here. We have a really good top line, and we have some really good wingers on the second line. We have no center depth. We're playing 3 rookies on second, third, and fourth line centers. So our depth goes as far as our rookies take it.
Yeah, well, at least you have some. We literally have like 4 rookies, something like that.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
we have 2 active from this class, and we have 2 active from last class, I think. So yeah, it's really not like amazing.
yeah, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rookies coming into this class, and all of them have been active in the Discord.
So yeah, it's actually pretty.
Oh no,
pretty
that's
good.
just 7 forwards. Excuse me. We do have 2 D-men as well, and one of those has been very active.
That's don't rub salt in their drink.
So we have 9 rookies.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Like,
Yeah, our depth is be there. St. Louis should be good for a while, and especially with the Reddit draft coming up, and we have like I don't fucking know how many top 4-round picks. It's like 12 or some shit.
oh my fucking god.
So we're just gonna stock up. In fact, we might not even be able to use all those picks if these rookies stay active.
Yeah, you might have to trade some to not feel too bad.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't have any room for them.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, you're active, but your bench. Have fun.
Yeah, so we can't do that. So we might have to trade picks for future picks just to continuously stock up down the line.
Yeah.
We really nailed this past draft, and I'm proud of that because I did a lot of scouting on it.
Yeah, I actually didn't do that much, which is well, yep. Next up, how do you like my SIG altogether? Your SIG is scaring me, to be honest. Yeah, it's yep. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it's a decent jersey swap, all that.
Jersey swap is fine, but like one thing I find really annoying, like I don't even know if you have a rotating SIG, to be honest, so it could actually screw us up. No, I don't think.
No, I don't think he does.
Yeah. So one thing I don't like about your SIG is that we don't see the beginning of your name, like Clint Eastwood. We don't see the C of Clint, so it's kind of blah.
I see it.
Wait. Well, you can see it, but it's so dark, so it's not amazing.
I don't know. Maybe it's just my TV.
Well, I can see it like on my other screen better, but like I don't like the effect of going dark and then light and then everything else is light. I just don't understand it.
I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I guess just because it doesn't look as dark on my screen. I mean, like I can see the gradient from dark to light, but I just bought like this brand new 4K TV, so everything, all the colors pop.
Oh yeah, that does help. That does help.
Yeah. All right. Next question. We're gonna skip the Pride stuff because we covered that. Would you rather the Admirals or the Pride?
Would you what? The Admirals
Would you rather
or the Pride?
Yeah, the Portland Admirals or San Francisco Pride.
I don't mind either of those, to be honest. Like I understand the change of the branding after what happened, but for me, I don't believe it was bad enough to like force a branding change, but yeah, any one of them like would be fun by me.
I honestly think if you switch the city name with the opposite mascot for both, it sounds better.
The San Francisco Admirals and the Portland Pride.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, Portland Pride sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's actually true. But yeah, like
Yeah, I prefer the Portland name, but I didn't like that their emblem was a ripoff of an old, I think, ECHL team or something like that.
oh, I didn't even know that.
The Norfolk Admirals, actually, I think, who are still around. So, and I like the colors, but that's pretty biased because I'm a Pens fan and it was black and gold or black and yellow. All right, thoughts on people getting real mad about the Pride? We covered that.
Stupid.
Sort of. Yeah, it's stupid. Would you two rather be together on New England or Calgary? And I'm not going to touch that one because I feel like this would go down the tampering line.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was saying. Like, I don't want to answer that question.
Yeah, I mean, maybe when we're free agents, we'll answer that question if we become free agents.
The big question is if, so.
Yeah, which I don't think either of us will be. How's your SHL fantasy team?
So like I said to TDC just before that podcast, fantasy team for me is do and forget. I'll be honest, even if there's TPE at the end of the road, I tend to not look at them at all. But my fantasy team looks like a lot of Jet players and a few other names.
Yeah, I complete opposite
Oh,
when
really?
it comes to the fantasy because I really want that TPE and I tried hard
Yeah.
last season and got it. And I'll try hard again this season to at least get some. Hopefully get first again after finishing 8th place my first season
Well,
and staying in 8th place all season.
I actually got TPE last season. I got one.
I probably would have gotten like 3rd or 4th place, but I made a switch that got me some more points and got me just enough for first, and I actually barely beat out Evans.
Oh, that's pretty good then. Especially
my
if you
team-
beat out Evans.
Barely, too. But my team this season, I got Visser from Winnipeg.
Oh, I got yeah, Visser too.
Yeah, he's going to be great. I got Joe, who's playing top line in Calgary. I got Durden for Texas, who plays top line. I got LKS, who just went to Winnipeg, and he's going to be playing top line with Klaus Wagner, who I have as well. So I got Winnipeg's top pairing D. And then
didn't LKS went to West Kendall?
or West Kendall, excuse me, not Winnipeg.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Because I was like, no,
I was thinking
wait.
W.
Because I got Max Weber from Winnipeg, which
Yeah.
I believe is the top pairing, and I was like,
He is.
wait, no, did they like down Max Weber? What the hell?
Yeah, Weber and who's the other one? I don't even remember who
Big
the other one
Manius?
is there. Yeah, Manius, that's it.
Big Manius.
Yeah, your arch rival. And then my goalie is Dick Chocolate, Richard C. Hocklet.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting. I think it's his first full season.
Yep, but he is just coming right in where Wong was last season, who killed it for us, and we have a stronger team around him. So, fair shot for me.
Yeah, he's gonna be protected and everything.
Yeah, I figured I could get him last pick and still get a good goalie because nobody was going to take him. And I could load up on my other picks and then take the risk on him.
True.
And if he sucks and another goalie's doing good, I could use my ad drop on him.
Yeah, I got Robert Anderson from Minnesota, I think.
Swags player, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's gonna be fine for this season, and then next season he's not gonna exist anymore.
All right. Will West Kendall be good this season or another season of mediocrity? I think West Kendall will be good. I mean, adding LKS is going to help a lot.
Yeah.
Let me go look at that roster. Toronto, West Kendall. It'll be interesting. I mean, they have a lot of good young players, like Leifer and Langabeer, Alex Light. So as those players, and Pris as well, and as those players continue to earn more TPE, they're just going to get better. They replaced Bojo with LKS, so, and they have a pretty good second pairing, and I think they get one more season out of Lewis Flood, so that's good for them. I think they have a good shot this season. It'll be interesting to see what happens when Lewis Flood's gone, and if they can sign a goalie or if they have to pull up Bojo. And we can skip the last two questions.
The answer is no, and because.
Yeah. Next up is Berserkap.
I said Berserkap.
Berserkap, I don't know.
Berserkap.
It probably is Berserk and then AP.
Berserk AP.
I don't know what it is.
Like, tell us, Berserkap. I just said Berserkap. So.
I don't know anything about hockey, so I'll ask some basic questions. How important is the head coach for a team's production? Also, what is the primary role of the head coach? And I think this is in hockey in general, not SHL related.
Yeah.
The head coach, I mean, they're really rein in all the players, and also it's his plays and his style. So if the head coach prefers a speed style, you're going to see that more than a dump and chase style, which is dumping the puck in and going to get it, or a cycle where you're cycling the puck around the boards to each other kind of style. So it's very important to the team's overall style of play and how the GM builds the team around that style.
Yeah. And so basically the head coach is actually the one teaching the player to do that.
Yeah. Are there assistant coaches for the team, and what do they specialize in? Yes, there are assistant coaches. Usually one of yours is going to be a PK coach, and one's going to be the power play coach. You'll have
a forward, defense, goalie coach.
Yeah, you'll have a goalie coach. So a lot of times they'll try and, like, the power play coach will be the forward coach, and the PK will be the D coach and stuff like that.
So, and basically those are, like, they are doing a bit the head coach job, but to an extent, like, on a lesser scale.
Are there situations where set pieces take place other than the power play and the penalty kill? And actually there are, even though it's really hard for people to tell. Last playoffs, and I cannot remember, I think it was the first round, or not last playoffs before this, when the Pens won the first cup, our fourth cup, technically.
The first back-to-back cup of this
2016 playoffs. There was a play, I think it was in the Columbus or the Washington series. I can't remember exactly which series. And it was overtime or late in the game, and the Penguins did have an icing call, and you could see Crosby go to each player and tell them where to be. And, like, you could actually see him when he's talking to Connor Sheary take a stick and point somewhere. The face-off happens, he wins it, it goes around to somebody, goes right to the spot that he pointed to, and Sheary's waiting there, and Sheary scores.
Yeah.
So they happen, they're just really hard for people to pick out unless you just really know a lot about the game. And even then, I didn't even notice that at first.
Yeah, and another, like, key moment, usually you will see some important piece play is, like, an important face-off, either in, like, the offense zone or the defense zone. The kind of face-off you need to win. You will have often a center that is specialized to, like, the face-off specialist in your team take those face-off.
Specifically, you have some teams that are better on the right side or the left side.
Yeah.
I think Washington is that way, where they have I can't remember who it was they had come in and take on one side, and then somebody else would come in for the other side, and they would win a ton of face-offs that way.
Yeah, so like it's more rare that you will notice that in team that aren't your team, but that's the kind of little play that makes a big difference in the team.
And for casual fans as well, it's just really hard for you to notice that stuff just trying to watch a game, unless you're trying to sit there and nitpick plays. And a lot of people, including me, I just don't have the time or the care to do that all the time. Sometimes I just want to enjoy a game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it more important for a team to have strong overall team or a couple stars? And
both.
You gotta have both. Yeah, I mean, you have to have your star players, because a bunch of solid players isn't going to win you a cup. You have to have those star players, but you have to have good depth behind them. It's just really picking the players that fit your system and getting them for the right price.
Yeah, because to an extent you will need a star on your team, because as far as I know, every team have a star. Like, there's always someone that will stand up more in your team, so to an extent those are your star. But like, your team needs to be
have
strong.
Multiple. Even bad teams have multiple.
Yeah.
Like, Colorado last season was embarrassingly bad, and they had Duchene and Landeskog and McKinnon, and Varlamov's a good goalie.
So yeah,
now, I wouldn't say he's a star, but he's a good goalie. But those three are stars forward-wise, and they still sucked. And they're doing better this season, but still.
Yeah, so like you will always have a star on your team, because in all cases it's someone that stand up more. And with the way drafted are made, like you will always have a first round that will stand out.
Yeah, I hate to use Pittsburgh as an example, but they just won the Cups, and I'm so familiar with them. It's just everybody hates them. But, you have Crosby and Malkin and Kessel, and that's three huge stars right there on forward.
Murray.
And then you have Murray, who's a rookie, but he's been playing.
Well, he's not a rookie anymore.
But he was for the first Cup, and
yeah,
then,
for the second two, to an extent.
Yeah, he was technically a rookie the second season. So, 2 Cups as a rookie, technically. And then we had Letang on defense, and we didn't even win the Cup with him last season because of our depth.
Yeah.
But we had players like Cullen and Brian Rust and Dumoulin on defense who stepped up huge, and Ian Cole, who's been asked most of the time, but he stepped up in the playoffs. And you have players like that just come at the right time, and they step up when they need to, and you get the depth that you need to win. But you have to have those stars to pull your team, because our top scorers were, Crosby and Malkin and Kessel. They're going to win most of your games. It's up to your depth to win the rest.
Yeah, pretty much.
And what music do each of you like, and why?
I'm not sure if we already covered that or not, but any kind of music, as long as it's catchy, I'll be honest. I listen to everything.
I listen to more like hard rock metal, but I would listen to like some poppy stuff too. It doesn't bother me. Rap I'm very picky with. I don't really listen to modern rap as much. I used to listen to it a lot more as a teenager, so the rap that came out around that time I still like, because that's what I listened to at the time, but I just don't care anymore. And then I can't stand country.
Yeah, actually, I will be honest, I don't listen to old music. I cannot stand like screaming metal and dark metal, or whatever you call
I love it.
I can't.
I love metal.
Well, metal in general is fine. Heavy metal is fine, but as soon as I can't understand the lyrics, I don't like it. Like, actually, that's I can listen to classical music. I will love songs that have good lyrics, but if there is lyric and I can't understand them because the singer is bad, they're screaming, all that kind of stuff, it's like I don't like this music. So yeah, lyrics are important. If there is, I need to hear them.
I think to an extent too is because I listen to so much of that music that
You understand them?
I can understand the lyrics easier because I'm used to hearing it all the time, especially with bands that I like because I'm used to the way that they scream.
True. But yeah, I can't listen to them. Like my friends, like I know I have a lot of friends that like them, and each time I'm like, please no, don't kill me.
All right, on to Evans. Is holy fuck, you already have so many questions. How do you guys get so many questions? And the answer is very simple.
We
It's
beg.
because we beg and we have Evok.
Oh no, that's not true. That's not only for me. I'm pretty sure like Clint has questions because you're there.
Well, I beg him too.
Well, yeah, like but yeah, we beg pretty much.
Yeah, I have no shame.
No, not at all, actually.
Evok, do you forgive me? And I have no idea what.
No. What happened is actually, for those who don't follow media, well, not SHL drama, most likely, is that I unfortunately made an error in Evans update because I spent my whole Sunday doing update, and it was like at one point I was just really tired. I started to probably do mistakes, and I messed up something in Evans update, and he decided to call me up in the forum saying like, and I blame like Evok, about like this mistake. And what happened is that I woke up, and that's the first thing I saw. Like, so I woke up, I checked the email I received. The first thing is like, oh, Evans tagged you, and I was like, why the fuck did he tag me like during the night? And I woke up on Evans like shitting on me on the forum, saying like that's my fault and everything. And I was just so pissed, and I called him out like I actually said like something like, thanks for the fucking public call out, Evans. Uh, so I was a bit upset because that was something that really annoyed me during the weekend to like do those updates despite me not wanting to, because no one else was really around to do them, and then getting called out on the forums publicly. And like it was the first thing I saw the morning, so I was like, yeah. Like, I was a bit angry, but yes, I forgive you, Evans.
Yep. Sorry, I was trying to get the hockey game up so I can have it ready.
It's fine. And by the way, Evans, if it wasn't that was the first thing I saw that morning, and it wasn't so recent about the fucking update that pissed me off, I wouldn't have cared. So like, don't feel too bad about it.
And then for me is when is my lightweight gonna kill his lightweight on SFC? And for people that don't know, SFC is simulation fighting championship, I guess.
I think
It's like MMA.
but simulation.
So yeah. So my fighter actually won today. I don't know
Against who?
when. Shit, who did I fight? I don't even remember who I fought.
Yeah.
But I knocked him out in 30-something seconds. So hopefully that carries over. I don't know when I'll fight Evans' fighter. I think he just created it as an amateur, so we might get a chance in this tournament coming up. Sunday, I think.
Yeah, I think Sunday, the amateur tournament.
Yeah, so maybe we'll get a chance then for me to kill you. If not, then it shouldn't take too long. I need to win a couple more fights so I can get into a gym and then hopefully go after Sophia because she's going to end up getting that belt.
Yeah, probably. And the last question is actually we both fell for that one. Can you all ask me question? I feel so unloved right now. So I will next time events,
Yeah,
and I will encourage people to go ask you question as well.
Yeah, I did not even see that until today, and apparently it was recorded last night, and I felt bad. So next time I will ask you double the questions to help you out.
Yep.
And then our last question is from BK, who asks, when is the Brett Kennedy podcast episode? Which would be...
when we're going to start talking gas again, maybe. Which I don't know when it's going to be.
And basically, that's it. It's whenever we start doing guests, we should get you in, but no idea when we're going to get guests in again. It's been really hard to coordinate. I mean, I think I've reiterated this multiple times. Yeah. It's been hard to coordinate.
It's hard to coordinate
schedules.
It's hard to schedule. It's hard to do as well. I'll be honest, I'm a bit on the lazy side. Like, at least for me, I mean, I like having guests here. Well, we got one. I would like to get more guests here, but I'm also really lazy to coordinate everything. So it's like just, yeah, it will happen one day maybe. So blame me if we don't get guests, actually. Probably the best thing to do.
Works for me. And I think that is it. Should have answered the thingy. And thank you, everybody, for the questions. Yes. Again, always getting us money every week. Can never have enough money.
Never enough. Like, hopefully, we're actually saying at the beginning that we had enough, but...
Yeah, well, I had enough if I keep doing this.
Yeah, that's actually pretty much it.
Yeah, so I gotta keep this up. So thanks, everybody. I'm gonna go watch the game that I thought started at 7, and it started at fucking 6:30, and I've already missed a whole period.
Oh no. So you're luckily gonna catch the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's a minute and 20-ish left, and we're up 1-0, so that's good.
Oh, okay, that's not too
bad. Pris, if you listen, fuck the Caps, just because we're playing them tonight.
That's so rude.
I hate the Caps. I mean, I hate the Flyers more, so... And I just can't say it to Goonie, though. So, Blues, fuck the Flyers. Goonie, I love you.
Well, at the same time, I have 2 Pittsburgh players in my fantasy playing right now, and I forgot to play Olby, so go Pens. Make me points.
Oh, that works.
All right, see
everybody.
you, everyone.
Have a good night.